Good afternoon, students. A very happy new year to you. I welcome you all on our inaugurating session on Auditing and Assurance Paper-6 Intermediate. This particular session, we are starting this is a new initiative which we are taking. We are now trying to cover up our difficult topics of various subjects where we feel that the students are facing problems. So kindly join us in great numbers, make the best use of this, and you are going to gain out of it. I'll just be introducing you our faculty of auditing, Mrs. Karuna Bhansali, and then Mr. Rajeev Sachdeva. Both of you will be covering the topic, company audit. As you know very well, in intermediate, this particular subject is in group 2. So this is paper 6 and today's date is also 6th. Date is also 6th. So kindly be alert. I think tighten your belts. You are going to have a topic, company audit. I'll advise you to really take it seriously, the topics which are being taught by our faculty, and make use of the modules which are being written by our faculty only. Kindly go through the topics, chapter wise go through them. Thereafter, come to the practice manual. Practice manual is having all the questions which you can attempt, and if you are having any problem, you can revert back to our faculty. Another thing, kindly go through our RTPs also, go through our mock test papers also. Try understanding the question, read the question carefully. Thereafter, you just understand what you have to write. Don't look at the answer immediately. Try writing in your own language. After you've written the answer, check your answer, and if you are still getting stuck up, our faculty is there for you. So kindly make use of the efforts which are being taken by BOS for you, because BOS for the students, and you have to make the best use. Now I'm introducing Mrs. Karuna Bhansali. She's going to take over. She's going to cover up the pronouncements. Please be there with you, and all the best.
Good afternoon, students. Good afternoon, students. Welcome to Cloud Campus Online Mentoring System organized by Board of Studies ICI. As already mentioned by our TA Vandana Nagpal ma'am, Additional Director Board of Studies, that this is the program which we are starting topic wise, so you can enhance your knowledge and you can gain the knowledge of Companies Act 2013. Friends, there is a quote of Benjamin Franklin: if you are failing to plan, you are planning to fail. So planning is very important. You have to plan in a very better planned manner, systematic manner, so that you can prepare for exams. Friends, we receive many queries from you that what are the applicability for May 2016 examination, what are the changes, what are the amendments applicable for our examination, and this query we receive through mail, we receive through telephonic telecon, and till examination, before 1 week prior to examination, we receive this query. So student, please note that there are approved list of pronouncements which are applicable for May 16 examination, and this is hosted on website as well as it is published in student journal. I'll brief you about that. Before that, please note disclaimer statement. Student may take a note for this disclaimer statement. Students are advised to go through this learning management system. They are also advised to refer e-lectures available on the student LMS for this and other topics. For that, you need to register with your student registration number, and you can start learning immediately. You may also take important note that there are e-lectures, PPTs, podcasts, and video lectures on ICI Cloud Campus, which you may visit and enhance your knowledge. So students are advised to refer study material, supplementary study material, RTP, mock test paper, RTPs, and or other legislation amendments or list of publications along with this podcast video lectures. As already mentioned that we receive lot many queries ki what are the applicable sections of Companies Act 2013 examination, legislative amendments, which of the standards will be applicable, which are guidance notes applicable, whether CARO 2015 is applicable or not. So please take paper and pen or note down, or you may also visit ICI website, and as I mentioned earlier, you may refer ICI Student Journal. There's a cutoff date for Companies Act 2013 provisions, and that is 31st October 2015. So for all relevant notified sections of the Companies Act 2013 and other legislative amendments, including relevant notifications, circulars, rules, guidelines issued by different regulating authorities, and cutoff date, as I already mentioned, this is 31st October 2015. So till 31st October 2015, whatever sections are notified, whatever legislative amendments have come, you have to go through the same. Further, you may also note down that CARO 2015, which is issued by MCA on 10th April 2015, is applicable for May 16th examination. As I mentioned that we receive lot many queries, which are the standards applicable for your examination. So you may note down that 200 series, which is about general principles and responsibilities, then our 300 series, which tells us about risk assessment and response to assessed risk, our 500 series about audit evidences, 600 series using the work of others, 700 series is about audit conclusions and reporting requirement. These are the standards applicable for your May 2016 examination. Student may also note, in addition to these standards, there are 8 guidance notes which are applicable for your May 2016 examination. And these guidance notes, there is a new guidance note which is applicable for your examination, namely guidance note on reporting under section 143(3)(f) and (h) of the Companies Act 2013. So please note down, there is a new guidance note, additional guidance note for you, which is very important, which briefs you about section 143 requirement, and which also tells you about what are the reporting requirement under section 143(3)(f) and (h) of the Companies Act 2013. In addition to this, we have one statement that is on reporting under section 227(1)(a) of the Companies Act 1956. Now it's namely section 143(1) of the Companies Act 2013. So student, I think you have also noted down that which are the standards applicable for your examination, including like essay 200 to essay 720, then 8 guidance note, including 8.1, which is a new guidance note for this examination, and 1 statement. And in addition to this, CARO 2015 is applicable for your examination, and all the legislative amendments which are being enforced or notified till 31st October 2015 is applicable for your examination. Now, I'm handing the mic to Vandana Nagpal, Additional Director, Board of Studies.
Good afternoon, students. I'm again intervening. Very shortly, you will be able to hear our Chairman, Board of Studies, CA.V. Murli. He'll be joining us in no time. There are in between now Mr. Rajeev Sachdeva will be taking over. He'll be starting the topic company audit. When Mr. Murli will be joining us, we'll be taking a short break and he'll take over. And thereafter again, Mr. Rajeev Sachdeva will be there with you. So please welcome Mr. Rajeev Sachdeva. He'll be taking over the topic company audit.
Very good afternoon to all students. Before taking up company audit, I would like to teach you, I would like to educate you as to how to study law related questions. How to study law basically? First of all, at the outset, I tell you, provisions of the company audit need constructive learning. My first point is you need to learn. You need to learn. Learning is very important. So far as learning is concerned, learning in a systematic manner will definitely help you in studying the laws. Learning is different from cramming. Learning is not cramming. Learning becomes constructive learning if you understand the provisions, if you understand the subject. First understand the subject and then learn. It will definitely, I assure you, this will help you in your law related studies. So provisions of the company audit or any law, I tell you, this need constructive learning. So my first point to you, first advice to you is to learn. Secondly, you should, next point is you should try to understand the intention of the law. Whenever the lawmakers enact the laws, they have specific intention behind the provisions of the specific law. You need to understand the intention of the lawmakers behind that law. So do not just cram or learn, also understand the intention of the lawmakers behind those provisions. Next point I would like to substantiate is basic intention of the law should never be missing while writing your answers. This is very important. While writing your answers, you should completely, you should say basic intention of the law, that should not be missing at all, and that should be incorporated very well into your answers. Now, whenever you learn the specific section or any part of the, say, law, then translate your knowledge of that section into brief notes. Always prepare brief notes. This is very important. These notes will definitely help you out in the examination time. You may also prepare diagrams in support, and at later stage of preparation that would require minimum time and minimum effort also. If you prepare brief notes, if you prepare diagrams in support, at later stage of preparation, you would be saving your time, you would be saving your effort also. Now I am coming to, having said about these, how to learn, how to say understand the law related provisions, I switch over to section 139 of the Companies Act, appointment of auditors. Section 139 of the Companies Act is on appointment of auditors. I am taking up section 139 subsection 1. Section 139 subsection 1 is before your screens. Appointment of subsequent auditors in the case of non-government companies. I am not talking of government companies. We'll talk later on. Appointment of subsequent auditors. I am not also talking of first auditors. I am talking of subsequent auditors. Appointment of subsequent auditors in case of non-government companies. Section 139 subsection within brackets. This is subsection 1 of the Companies Act 2013 provides that every company shall, the important words have been underlined, every company shall at the first AGM, at the very first AGM, appoint an individual or firm as an auditor, an individual or firm as an auditor. Always learn in a slow manner. Always try to understand slowly. Do not be in haste. Section 139, one of the company that provides that every company shall. This is, I am talking of each and every company. Here, important words are every company. Every company means here that no distinction among various companies has been made in this section. In other words, I put it this way, each and every company has to appoint its auditors. Each and every company would be required to appoint its auditors. For example, no distinction would be made whether it is a public limited company, be it private limited company, one-person company, small company. Every company would be required to follow section 139. Every company will be required to section 139, would be required to follow section 139 subsection 1. Means every company is supposed to appoint its auditors. Again, I am emphasizing each and every company has to appoint its auditors. Coming back, section 139 of the Company Act 2013 provides that every company shall at the first AGM. Now, important word is shall. Every company shall. Shall, whenever appears in any law, it indicates mandatory. Every company shall indicates that it would be mandatory for every company to appoint its auditors. So shall is always taken as mandatory in any law. You must remember at this stage that may is discretionary, whereas shall is mandatory. So shall indicates that it would be mandatory for every company to appoint its auditors. You must remember that may is discretionary, whereas shall is mandatory. I am taking halt of 5 minutes. Chairman, over to Chairman, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, madam.
The students were anxiously waiting for you. Let me introduce our chairman. I think our chairman doesn't require any introduction. However, I'm once again introducing our chairman, Board of Studies, C.A.V. Murli, to all the students. He is the person for students and he is for the students. And the initiatives which he has taken are commendable. So today's initiative also is one of his works and we are working under his guidance. Over to our chairman, C.A.V. Murli.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Vandana Nagpal, madam, Additional Director, Board of Studies. I welcome all the students for this online mentoring by the Board of Studies. See, we are in distance learning education mode. So naturally, the type of classroom atmosphere may not be there for the CA students. In order to see that this gap is not there, we have introduced this online mentoring by the Board of Studies, whereby the students are encouraged to ask queries, raise questions on real time, they will get the answer. And in fact, it's very heartening to note that 1 or 2 online mentoring sessions for students have been organized by the Board of Studies since 2014, July 2014. This goes to show the single-minded devotion with which our Board of Studies is doing their job. And in order to take it forward still further, certain subjects, very tough subjects, tough topics have been chosen, and it will be lucidly elucidated by our distinguished faculties of the Board of Studies, wherein the students are also encouraged to raise questions and get their doubts clarified. So in the normal distance learning mode, in case if you have any doubts, you may not be in a position to get it clarified then and there. So in order to overcome this difficulty, we have introduced this. And today, already you are listening CA Rajeev, Sachdeva, and CA Karuna, Bhansali also. she will be discussing the topic company audit for the intermediate IPC course 6, paper 6, auditing and assurance. And this type of, challenging topics, when we do it, what we request the students, you ask the questions so that whatever, to overcome the difficulty of distance learning mode, that touch should be there. And you also tell the other students also to join this online mentoring. One thing I always say, we must realize that in a society, the only changeless factor is that change is inevitable. Robert Kennedy says, great change dominates the world. Unless you move with the change, will become its victims. So naturally, we have to change with the times. Our institute is changing with the times. Our board of studies is doing. How to see that technology should be used so that we will have a continuous interaction with the students. And I think you must be preparing well for your May examination. And what you have to do, you must be very well focused now. And we are also doing our job to make the job easier for the students, to inculcate sense of confidence in you as such. And let me end with what George Bernard Shaw has to say about life. Life is no brief candle for me. It is a sort of a splendid torch which I got a hold of it for the moment, and we want to make it burn as brightly as possible before handing it over to the future generations. Keeping these words as our motto, ICI, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, would like to do something useful, not only for the students, not only for the members, not only for the staff, but to all the stakeholders of the society. I wish you all the very best in all the future endeavors. Kindly make best use of this online mentoring by the Board of Studies. Thank you very much. I also appreciate all the faculty, staff, and led by the excellent leadership of Mrs. Vandana Nagpal, Additional Director, Board of Studies, to see that things happen in the way in which it should happen. So, wish you all the very best for everybody present here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your kind words. I think, sir, they are going to be very motivating for the students. And over to Mr. Rajeev Sachdeva. He'll start from where he had actually halted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Yes, every company, I was explaining to you that section 139(1) of the Companies Act 2013 provides that every company shall, I have already explained, every company means that each and every company has to appoint its auditors, be it public limited company, be it private limited company, be it one person company, small company, each and every company will have to appoint its auditors. Every company shall appearing in any law indicates mandatory. This action of appointing auditors by every company is mandatory in nature, and the company shall, every company shall at the very first AGM, at the first AGM itself, appoint an individual or a firm as an auditor. An individual may be a chartered accountant, or firm may be a chartered accountant. As you all know, auditors are chartered accountants in India. So individual or a firm, I will explain to you individual or a firm. For example, individual Rohit Kumar, chartered accountant, appointed as auditor of XYZ Limited. This is an example of individual appointed as auditor of XYZ Limited. Individual can also form proprietorship firm. Proprietorship firm of CA Rohit Kumar and Company, chartered accountants, Rohit Kumar and Company, chartered accountants, appointed as auditors of XYZ Limited. So proprietorship firm. This firm is led by an individual. And third example is partnership firm of CA Rohit Kumar and CA Mohit Kumar, Rohit, Mohit and Company Chartered Accountants, appointed as auditor of XYZ Limited. So individual may be appointed as auditor or firm may also be appointed as auditor. Every company shall at the first AGM appoint an individual, as you have already seen, an individual firm of individual person or in his individual capacity. I should say in individual capacity or in the capacity of firm. He may be appointed as an auditor. Who shall hold office? Office of the auditor. Who shall hold office from the conclusion of that meeting till the conclusion of its 6th AGM. Who shall hold office from the conclusion of that meeting till the conclusion of its 6th AGM, and thereafter this process will continue till the conclusion of every 6th meeting. Section 139, subsection 1, I have already explained to you. It provides that every company shall at the first AGM appoint an individual or a firm as an auditor who shall hold office from the conclusion of that meeting till the conclusion of 6th AGM and thereafter till the conclusion of every 6th meeting. Whenever you find any section, it is lengthy in nature, say, so divide it into parts. My suggestion to you all is divide the section into parts. This will simplify your process of learning. Divide the section into parts. So your learning will be easier in this process. Every company shall at the first AGM appoint an auditor. An auditor may be individual or firm. This is the way you can prepare your brief notes. You can prepare your brief notes in this manner. Every company shall at the first AGM itself appoint an individual or firm as an auditor who shall hold the office. Who shall hold office from that meeting till the 6th AGM, and thereafter this process will continue till 6th meeting, with the meeting wherein such appointment has been made being counted as the first meeting. This is very important, I am telling you. Being counted as the first meeting. Meeting in which the auditors are appointed will be counted as the first meeting. I give you an example. For example, if appointment is made on 12th September 2015 for the financial year 2015-16, if appointment of an auditor is made on 12th September 2015 for the financial year 15-16, this meeting would be taken as the first meeting, and second meeting on 10th September 2016. This is third meeting 17, fourth meeting 18, fifth meeting is on 19, and sixth meeting will be on 10th September 2020. So auditor appointed on 12th September 2015 would hold office till the conclusion of sixth meeting, that is for 5 years. So first meeting, I was telling you, with a meeting wherein such appointment has been made being counted as the first meeting. So first meeting is on 12th September 2015. So auditor appointed on 12th September 2015. This will be would hold office till conclusion of sixth meeting. So this is all about section 139 subsection 1. There are additional points you should consider. Note 1 is ratification by members at every AGM. Members would ratify at every AGM. What is the meaning of ratification? Ratification means confirmation that the auditor appointed earlier would continue in his office. This is the confirmation. Ratification is a sort of confirmation. If the appointment is not, now question may arise in your mind, if the appointment is not ratified by the members of the company, then the board of directors shall appoint another individual or firm as its auditor in according to the procedure which is prescribed in the law. Procedure as prescribed in the law. Procedure as stated in the law. What if the appointment is not ratified by the members of the company? If the appointment is not ratified by the members of the company, then the board of directors shall appoint another individual or firm as its auditor in accordance with the procedure as stated in the law. Another point is selection of auditors would be as per Rule 3. Selection of auditors would be as per Rule 3. Rule 3 of the company audit rules. Before such appointment is made, written consent of the auditor has to be obtained. Please note, students, before such appointment is made, written consent of the auditor plus certificate from him regarding appointment is in accordance with the conditions. This certificate from him you should obtain, plus written consent of the auditor you should obtain, company should obtain, that appointment is in accordance with the conditions. Note 4 is certificate to indicate. Certificate must indicate that the auditor satisfies the criteria of section 141. Section 141 is about eligibility. This is about disqualifications of a person to be appointed as an auditor. Section 141 is regarding disqualifications of a person to be appointed as an auditor. So you need to obtain a certificate from an auditor plus written consent. Certificate, what would the certificate indicate? Certificate will indicate two things. Number one, conditions, and also it will indicate that the auditor satisfies the criteria of section 141, means he is not disqualified to be appointed as an auditor. Another important point is company would inform the auditor about his appointment, plus also it is the duty of the company to file a notice with the registrar of companies within 15 days of his appointment in ADT1. This is the form number ADT1. Company will file a notice with the registrar. This is the duty of the company. Company is to comply with two provisions. First, company will have to inform the auditor and also about his appointment, of course about his appointment, and also file a notice with the registrar within 15 days in form number ADT1. Another important point you should notice, appointment to include reappointment. This is all about section 139(1). So I repeat, section 139 subsection 1. Section 139(1) states that every company shall at the first AGM appoint an individual or a firm as an auditor who shall hold office from the conclusion of that meeting till the conclusion of its sixth meeting, and thereafter till the conclusion of every sixth meeting. Every company shall at the first AGM appoint an individual or a firm, individual chartered accountant, firm of individual chartered accountants, or individual auditor may be capacity in his individual capacity. So this is very important. Who shall hold office from the conclusion of that meeting? That meeting is the first meeting until the conclusion of its sixth AGM, and you need to remember that it would be ratified in every AGM. His appointment would be ratified. Ratification means confirmation, and this process of confirmation in the form of ratification will be done in every AGM, and thereafter this process will continue till the conclusion of every sixth meeting. This is, students, all about section 139(1). I move to section 139 subsection 2, that is rotation of auditors. Section 139(2) is about rotation of auditors. No listed company. Section 139(2) states that no listed company, this is, I am talking of a listed company, or a company belonging to such class or classes of companies as prescribed under rules, shall appoint or reappoint. No listed company, or a company belonging to such class or classes of companies as may be as prescribed in the law. No listed company or a company belonging to such class or classes of companies under rules shall appoint or reappoint an individual as auditor for more than one term of 5 consecutive years. This is the term we are defining here in the law itself, section 139(2). An individual as auditor for more than one term. This is the maximum you can appoint an individual as an auditor. And one term, that too of 5 consecutive years. And an audit firm, if it is a firm of auditors, I have already explained to you by way of example, for more than 2 terms of 5 consecutive years. No listed company or a company belonging to such class, I will explain to you the class of companies which are mentioned in rules. An individual, if you are an individual auditor, students, then not more for more than one term of 5 years, cannot be appointed for more than one term. And firm, if it is a chartered accountant firm, then for maximum 2 terms. No listed company, this is the way of preparing notes. No listed company or prescribed company shall appoint or reappoint an individual auditor for more than one term of 5 years, 5 consecutive years, and firm, if firm is the auditor, for more than 2 term of 5 years. And condition is, here we have imposed provided. Whenever provided comes in any law, it brings condition, provided that, it may be noted that. This is conditional. If an individual auditor who has completed his term shall not be eligible for reappointment as an auditor of the same company for 5 years from the completion of his term. Once this term, in other words, I put it this way, once the term is completed, it would not be eligible for reappointment for 5 years. 5-year gap is a must for 5 consecutive years. Once the term is completed, for individual, 1 term of 5 years, and for firm, 2 terms of 5 years each. Once the term, that particular term is completed, that would not, the firm of auditors or individual as the case may be, they would not be eligible for reappointment. This is what is given in the proviso, provided that an individual who has completed his term under clause A, means 5 years, individual shall not be eligible for reappointment. So this is in case of individual auditor. Once the term is completed, would not be eligible for reappointment for 5 years. And in case of an audit firm which has completed its term under clause B, means 10 years, 2 terms, shall not be eligible for reappointment as auditor in the same company. Important words are in the same company. We are talking, of course, in case of same company for 5 years from the completion of such term. Once the term is, you can prepare notes like this. Once the term is completed, would not be eligible for reappointment, of course, for 5 years. The class of companies, this rotation of auditor is applicable for listed company and for a specific class of companies and the class of companies as defined in the rules shall mean the following classes of companies. All unlisted A, all unlisted companies, public companies having paid up share capital of rupees 10 crore or more. All unlisted companies, unlisted public limited companies. Of course, listed companies are very much covered. Listed company and class of companies. Class of companies, first category is unlisted companies having criteria is paid up share capital. If they have paid up share capital of rupees 10 crores or more. And private limited companies, here the limit which is prescribed 10 crore, 20 crore. Lower limit is for limited companies and more leverage here is given to private limited companies. More concession is given to private limited companies. So therefore limit is higher in case of private limited companies. So distinction of 10 crore and 20 crore, for learning this distinction, if you forget, easy way of remembrance is more leverage is given to private limited companies. So for private limited companies, the limit is higher. In case of listed, unlisted public companies, limit is lower because they are public limited companies. Limit is 10 crores. So for unlisted public companies, paid up share capital criteria is 10 crore or more. And for private limited companies having paid up share capital of 20 crore or more. Here more leverage is given to private limited companies. This is the logic behind. And C is all companies having paid up share capital of below threshold limit. What is mentioned in point number A and B, clauses B, A and B above, but having public borrowings from financial institutions, banks, the public deposit of 50 crore or more. So if they are having 50 crore or more public deposits, then rotation provisions would be applicable to them. This is in respect of all companies having paid up share capital. Of course, paid up share capital below threshold limit means we are talking of companies, unlisted public companies and private limited companies. All companies here mean unlisted. What is described in clause A and B above means unlisted public companies and private limited companies. If they do not fulfill the criteria stated in A and B above, but they have public borrowings from financial institutions exceeding say rupees 50 crore or more, then they will be governed by the provisions of rotation of auditors. This is what I mean to say. So class of companies for rotation of auditors, including listed companies. All listed companies are governed by the rotation provisions plus prescribed companies as stated above, but one person company and small companies are not covered by the rotation provisions. All unlisted public companies having this you can also prepare. You can also take the help of, as I was explaining to you, how to study law related questions. So you should prepare brief notes, you should prepare charts, you should prepare diagrams like I am explaining to you. All unlisted public companies having paid up share capital exceeding or equal to 10 crores and all private limited companies having paid up share capital equal to or more than 20 crores and all companies having paid up share capital below threshold limit as stated in A and B, but having public borrowings from financial institutions exceeding 50 crores or more. 50 crores, equal to 50 crores or more than 50 crores. Firms having, now important points regarding rotation of auditors. You should note the important considerations, important points regarding rotation of auditors. Firms having common partner, those firms which are having common partner to the audit firm whose tenure has expired shall not be eligible for appointment. For example, This I will explain by way of an example. CAX is a common partner in the firm Messr ABC and Company, and also he is a partner. Mr. X is a partner in this firm, and Mr. X is also a partner in XYZ company. So if Messr ABC and Company, after completing its term for 5 years or 10 years as the case may be, ABC and Company has completed its tenure as an auditor in MWF Limited, then Messr XYZ and Company will not be eligible to be appointed as an auditor, as they are having Mr. X as the CX as the common partner. So firms having common partner would not be eligible for appointment. Every company shall comply with these requirements within 3 years. This is very important. Transitional provisions. Whenever new act comes, in every act there are transitional provisions. So this is transition provision. This is transitional provision. Every company shall comply with these requirements within 3 years from the date of commencement of this act. I will explain this with the help of a table. This is in case of individual auditor, and as you all know, rotation, in case of rotation of auditor, number of consecutive years for which an individual auditor, we are talking of individual auditor here, has been functioning as an auditor in the same company, 5 years or more than 5 years will not make the difference. 5 years or say 6 years, 7 years, all are covered in the first point. Now maximum number of consecutive years for which he may be appointed in the same company, including transitional period. This is the transitional period. And transitional period as stated in the law is 3 years. Every company shall comply with these requirements within 3 years. Now 3 years is the transitional period. 5 years as an auditor, he has completed the 5 years, and 3 years is the transitional period. So he will, total number of years is 8 years or more. So for 8 years he can be, if he has already completed 5 years, 3 years under the new Companies Act, then total number of years he will serve the company is for 8 years. And if he has completed his tenure of 4 years before the enactment of the Companies Act 2013, and 3 years is the transition period, 3 years he can serve, so 7 years he can total serve that the company as auditor. And 3 years, if he has completed 3 years, then number of years transition period is 3 years, so 6 years is the total. And 2 years, if 2 years prior to the enactment of the Companies Act, if he has served for 2 years, then balance period will be 3 years, total number of years 5 years. And 1 year, if he was working as an auditor for 1 year, he has completed his term 1 year prior to the Companies Act 2013, then 4 years, balance 4 years he can be appointed as auditor. In no case he can be appointed for more than 5 years. So less than 5 years, sorry. So this is the transition period is for 3 years. 3 years, every company shall comply with these requirements within 3 years from the date of commencement of this act. So this I have taken the example of individual firm. So if we take the example of an audit firm all know 10 years to firm has to complete its 2 terms, then the period will be 10 years or more. Transition period is 3 years, then it will be 13 years or more. And if there are 9 years plus 3 years transition, 12 years, 8 3 years transition, 11 years. If there is say 2 years transition period is 3 years, but he can complete his 2 terms, will be appointed for 8 years and 10 years. If he has completed 1 year, will be appointed for 9 years, complete his 2 terms of total 10 years. So this is the meaning of every company shall comply with the requirements within 3 years from the date of commencement of this act. So this is transitional provision. This is whenever any new act comes, there are always transitional provisions incorporated in the law. Right of the company. Here we are talking about the right of the company to remove an auditor, or the right of the auditor to resign. Right of the company to remove an auditor or the right of the auditor to resign will not be prejudiced. It will be taken care of. Means every company will have the right to remove an auditor, and every auditor will have right to resign. It is not going to be prejudiced, but it will be taken care of. And members of the company may resolve that the auditing partner and his team shall be rotated, or the audit conducted by more than one auditor. This is the resolution of the members of the company. They may resolve. Here we are using not shall, only may. And may, as I have told you, is discretionary. May is always discretionary and shall is mandatory. So members of the company may resolve that the auditing partner and his team shall be rotated. This is discretionary. Or the audit conducted by more than one auditor. Rule 6 prescribes the manner of rotation of auditors. And the manner of rotation of auditors, the audit committee shall recommend to the board the name of the audit firm on expiry of the term. The audit committee shall recommend to the board of directors the name of the audit firm on expiry of the term. The board shall consider the recommendation of the audit committee where required, if required, and in other cases the board shall itself consider the matter of rotation of auditors and recommend the next auditor. The board shall consider the recommendation of, if the audit committee is supposed, if there is audit committee, as per the provisions of the Companies Act, of course, and in other cases where there is no audit committee, the board shall consider the matter of rotation of auditors and recommend the next auditor. For the purpose of rotation of auditors, period prior to the commencement of the act shall be considered for calculating the period of 5 consecutive years or 10 consecutive years. For the purpose of rotation of auditors, period prior to the commencement of the act shall be considered for calculating the period of 5 years or 10 years. This has been explained with the help of tables. I have already explained you 3 years transitional period. Those tables, this is the meaning here in note number 3. Note number 4 is for the purpose of rotation of auditors. So far as rotation of auditor is concerned, the incoming auditor shall not be eligible if he is associated with the outgoing auditor under the same network of firms. Incoming auditor means auditor who is rotated shall not be eligible if, as he is associated with the outgoing auditor, new firm versus old firm. Incoming auditor, outgoing auditor. If they are connected by the same network of firms, so this will not be done. Same network is explained in that. For the purpose of rotation of auditors, a break in the term for a 5 continuous years. So break has to be for 5 continuous years. Shall fulfill the requirement of rotation. This is already been explained. For example, if CAX has completed his tenure of 5 years in 2015 and 16, if CAX has completed his tenure of 5 years in say 2015-16, now he will have to break for 5 continuous years from 2016-17 to 2020-21. This is the example, means continuous break for 5 years. Now I am taking up section 139 subsection 4, manner of rotation of auditors. Now I am taking up online queries of students. Who are, Ankit Gupta is asking, who are the first auditors? Very good question. I would like to explain this with the help of my PPT. I will explain fully who are the first auditors. First auditors are in the case of a government company and in the case of a non-government company. I would explain in detail in my PPT with the help of my PPT. Your question will be taken care of. How to start studying the audit? Mahima Chauhan is asking, how to start studying the audit? This is very good question. I would like to answer this question. Yes, students, this is the session where I am taking up the company audit. There are 2 parts in the auditing. So far as auditing in the intermediate is concerned, at this level, at the beginner's level, intermediate level is concerned, I can divide the subject into 2 parts. Basic concepts of auditing plus essays and other concepts. And second part is about statutory audit, statutory company audit. So far as the law related to companies audit is concerned. So I have just started with section 2, means part 2 of the syllabus, say company audit. I have divided the entire syllabus into 2 parts. If you divide this into 2 parts, part 1 is basic concepts plus what is the meaning of auditing, essays and all that, and statutory provisions relating to company law. And company audit I have already started. How to start me? I have already explained you at the beginning of this session how to study the law related questions. And if you ask me really how to start this subject, I would like to answer how to start your group. My first point you should note down is you should study for one group at least 1500 hours. So far as the entire group is concerned, you should study for at least 5 months or 1500 hours. You should prepare the brief notes as I have already explained to you. Brief notes very much help you in your preparation at the last stage, at the medium stage, or at the first. Brief notes are very important. And as the learning is very important, I will explain to you the techniques of learning too. And I am already explaining with the help of law. Section 139.1 I have already explained how to learn this. So learning is very important technique. Section 139.1, section 139.2. So at this, in say 30-35 minutes, I have covered just section 139 subsection 1 and 139 subsection 2 in detail. So if you study in this manner, I think you can learn the section, you can learn the entire content, what is stated in the law, and you can also learn it by heart. So in this manner, you can study the company audit. You can learn the subsequent sections, say 140, 141. And this is for your information that I will be taking up the next lecture on 12th of January, Tuesday. This is for your information. information of all the for all the students. And I will in next lecture I will explain you how to study the balance part of the audit. In this lecture I am already explaining to you with the help of the section 139 1 2 and the coming sections, section 139 4 5 6. Just note the technique which I am explaining to you how to study the law related questions. I hope hopefully you have got the answer. Now I move to PPT. Manner of rotation of auditor. If a partner who is in charge of an audit firm and also certifies the financial statements of the company retires from the firm and joins another firm. If a partner who is in charge of an audit firm, we are talking in charge of an audit firm. Very important students, I tell you. I am talking about in charge of an audit firm and not in charge of the company where you are auditing. Say A, B, C, D. This is the firm of chartered accountants, CAA, CAB, CAC, CAD. Now, as per the rules of, say, Chartered Accountants Act, I should say, as per Chartered Accountants Act, a person has to be appointed as in charge of that firm. So here I am explaining to you who is in charge of the firm. One person has to be appointed as in charge of the firm, and this in charge, Mr. A, say Mr. A is in charge. This has to be reported to the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, and then only he becomes the in charge. So if a partner means CA partner, who is in charge of an audit firm, here A is in charge and B and C, B, C and D are other partners. CA, if a partner who is in charge of an audit firm and he also certifies the financial statements of the company, there are two conditions. One, he is in charge, and secondly, he is certifying the financial statements of the company. He is retires from the firm and joins another firm. Then such other firm in which he is joining as an auditor shall not be eligible to be appointed for a period of another 5 years. If ABCD is one firm of chartered accountants, ABCD firm, and another firm, say XYZ, and CAA joins that firm, then AXYZ will not be eligible for appointment as auditors. In case of rotation, I am talking of rotation, and XYZ will not be able to take the assignment because in charge of audit firm has retired and joined the another firm. This will not be applicable to other partners. Very important point to note out. CAX is a partner and in charge of, this is example in favor of the above. CAX is a partner and in charge of Messer XYZ and Company. He also certifies the financial statements of company. Messer XYZ and Company, chartered accountant firm, has completed its tenure in MWF Limited as an auditor. Now CAX retires. CAX is in charge of XYZ from XYZ and Company. He retires and joins ABC and Company. ABC and Company, here ABC and Company shall also be disqualified to be appointed as an auditor of MWF Limited. So this is the entire thing. Section 139, subsection 5. In online query, a student was asking, sir, how the appointment of auditors in various companies is done. So here my answer starts. Appointment of subsequent auditors. Here subsequent auditors in case of government companies, and subsequent auditors other than government companies. This is as per section 139 subsection 1. So section 139(1) applies to other companies, and appointment of subsequent auditors in case of government companies this section 139(5), this basically starts with non-obstante clause. Means whatever is said in section 139(1), this will not be considered. Means this is overriding, this section is overriding section 139(1). What section 139(1) was conveying, if you remember, every company shall have to appoint its auditors, an individual or firm at the AGM. Every company shall. But here we are saying in case of government companies, means this clause is overriding section 139(1). Section 139(1), whatever section 139(1) may say, this section is overriding that section. This clause is, this section basically starts with non-obstante clause. There is one clause which is non-obstante clause. Non-obstante clause. And non-obstante clause means without any obstruction. बिना किसी रुकावट के. Without any obstruction. Means this section is superseding section 139 subsection 1. This is overriding section 139 subsection 1. 139(1) applies to each and every company, but section 139(5) applies only in case of government. We are government company. This section applies only in case of government company. Because it is applicable only in case of government companies, so therefore this section started with non-obstante clause, notwithstanding anything. And non-obstante clause, what is non-obstante clause? This clause starts with notwithstanding anything contained in section 139(1). कि section 139(1) चाहे कुछ भी कहता रहे, ये मतलब होता है. Section 139 subsection 1 चाहे कुछ भी कहता रहे. Appointment of subsequent auditors in case of government company. If it is a government company, the CAG of India shall appoint an auditor. Section 139(1) चाहे कुछ भी कहता रहे students. In case of a government company, Comptroller and Auditor General of India shall appoint an auditor, and that too within the commencement of the financial year, who shall hold office at the conclusion of the AGM. So this is overriding section. This section is overriding section 139 subsection 1. This is talking of government companies only. And in case of a government company, CAG has the power to appoint the auditor, and that too within a period of 180 days. From where 180 days have to be started? From the commencement of the financial year. So this is the bare section. Of course, this section starts with notwithstanding anything. Notwithstanding. For your convenience, I have not written those words. Notwithstanding anything contained in section 139(1). Means 139(1) चाहे कुछ भी कहता रहे, ये overriding clause होती है. As per section 139(5), in case of a government company or any other company owned or controlled directly by the state, central government, whether it is central government owned company or state government owned company, or partly owned by central government, partly by state government. So means if it is a government company, then Comptroller and Auditor General of India, in respect of a financial year, appoint an auditor duly qualified to be an auditor within a period of 180 days from the commencement of the financial year. In case of a government company, this is appointment of subsequent auditors and not first. I am not talking of first auditors. I am talking of subsequent auditors only. So CAG of India shall appoint an auditor within a period of 180 days from the commencement of the financial year, who shall hold office till the conclusion of the AGM. So this is all about section 139 subsection 5. Section 139 subsection 6 is appointment of first auditors in the case of a company other than. Now this is other than a government company, and this is about first auditor only. Appointment of first auditors in the case of a company which is not a government company, other than a government company, and the first auditor of a company other than a government company, in case of any company which is not a government company, shall be appointed by Board of Directors within 30 days from the date of registration. So appointment students 139(6), what it is conveying? The appointment of first auditor in case of any company which is not a government company will be done by the Board of Directors. Who will do that? Board of Directors will do this within a period of 30 days from the date of registration of the company. 3 points you have to note. The appointment will be made by the Board of Directors, and within 30 days you have to count from the date of registration of the company. So first auditors of a company which is other than a government company shall be appointed by the Board of Directors within 30 days and from the date of registration of the company. This is all about section 139 subsection 6. And 139(5) was appointment of subsequent auditors in the case of a government company, and that was to be made by the CAG of India within 180 days. And first auditors in the case of any company but other than a government company shall be done by the Board of Directors within 30 days from the date of the registration of the company. Appointment of first auditors in the case of a company other than if board fails to appoint. In case there is failure on the board, on the part of the board to appoint the auditors, students, if the board fails to appoint the auditors, then what will the procedure? What is the procedure then? It shall inform the members of the company. It is a duty of the board to inform the members of the company. Then inform the members. If the board fails to appoint the auditor, then it is the duty of the board to inform the members of the company who shall appoint the auditors within 90 days at EGM. Extraordinary, board will call an extraordinary general meeting and appoint the auditors within 90 days. And appointed auditors shall hold office till the conclusion of first AGM. In case there is failure on the part of the board to appoint the auditors, it shall inform the members of the company, and members in turn shall appoint the auditors within 90 days at EGM. They will appoint the auditors at the EGM. They will have to call EGM and then appoint the auditors. Appointed auditor students shall hold the office till the conclusion of first AGM. Now I am coming to section 139 subsection 7, appointment of first auditors in the case of a government company. Students, appointment of first auditors in the case of a government company. In the case of a government company, students, this is first auditor in the case of, I am not talking of subsequent auditors. Subsequent auditors in the case of government company, that was section 139(5). Subsequent auditors in the case of a government company are appointed within 180 days. And first auditors in the case of a government company shall be appointed by the CAG of India, and that too within 60 days from the registration of the company. And in the case of other than government company, the appointment is made by the Board of Directors within 30 days from the registration of the company. And in case of a government company, if you are a government company, the first auditor shall be appointed by the CAG of India within 60 days from the registration of the company. And if CAG does not appoint the auditor, if CAG, there is failure on the part of the CAG, I am taking up example. For example, the first auditor of Health and Wealth Limited, a government company, was appointed by the Board of Directors. Is the appointment valid? Students, you may refer question number 8A of the practice manual, edition July 2015. Question number 8A of the practice manual, July 15 edition of the practice manual. The first auditor of Health and Wealth Limited, a government company, was appointed by the Board of Directors. Is the appointment valid? The first auditor, as I have already explained to you, the first auditor in the case of a government company shall be appointed by the CAG of India, and that too within 60 days from the date of registration of the company. Students, applying the above provision, applying the section 139(7) or to the given problem, First, we will write the section 139(7). How I will handle this problem? I am telling you how to write the law related question, how to handle the law related questions. First, I will read out the entire question. First auditor in case of a government company was appointed by the board of directors. Now I will see the relevant provisions of the Companies Act, and the relevant provisions of the Companies Act is section 139 subsection 7 of the Companies Act, which states that if it is a government company, first auditor shall be appointed by the CAG of India within 60 days from the registration of the company. Therefore, applying the above provision to the given problem, what you will write after writing section 139(7), you will answer applying the section 139 provisions of section 139(7) to the given problem, which is given in the question. It may be concluded that appointment is not valid because the auditors cannot be appointed by the board of directors in case of first auditors cannot be appointed by the board of directors in case of a government company. In the case, so appointment is not valid. No, answer is no. In the case of a government company, the appointment of first auditor is governed by the provisions of section 139 subsection 7 of the Companies Act 2013, which states that first auditor shall be appointed by the CAG of India within 60 days from the date of registration of the company. Section 139 subsection 7, appointment of first auditors in the case of a government company. In case, now this is a continuing section, in case the CAG of India does not appoint such auditors within the above said period, then board will appoint such auditor within the next 30 days. In case the students, in case CAG fails to make the appointment, then board of directors shall make the appointment within a period of within next 30 days. And if the in case there is failure of the board to appoint, so it shall inform the members of the company, and who in turn shall appoint the auditors within 60 days at an EGM, extraordinary general meeting. The auditors shall hold office till the conclusion of the first AGM. So first auditor, the entire procedure, I explained to you the entire procedure of appointment of the first auditors in the case of a government company. First, number one, first auditors of government company will be appointed within 60 days. Who will appoint? CAG of India. If CAG fails, second, if CAG does not appoint the auditor, then board will appoint the auditor. Then if CAG does not make the appointment, then board will make the appointment within 30 days. And if board fails to make the appointment, then it will inform the members of the company. It is duty of the board to inform the members of the company, who in turn shall appoint the auditor within 60 days. They will call an EGM and appoint the auditor within 60 days. Yes? Yes, students? Section 139, going forward, section 139 subsection 8 is filling of a casual vacancy. The question, explain the following. Question on section 139(1). These sections are already covered. Section 139(1), section 139(5), section 139(6), and section 139(7). These are at a glance. Appointment of first auditor of a non-government company. This is governed by section 139 subsection 6. Appointment of first auditors of a non-government company. If there is non-government company, auditors are appointed by the board of directors. First auditors are appointed by the board of directors in 30 days. of the registration of the company. In the case of a government company, this is section 139, subsection 7, and this is appointment of first auditors of government company, and that by the CAG of India within 60 days of the date of registration of the company. And appointment subsequent auditors of a non-government company, this is governed by section 139(1). Appointment of subsequent auditors of a non-government company, section 139(1), and appointment of subsequent auditors of a government company. If it is a government company, section 139, subsection 5. So this has been covered in detail, and I move to, so this is the answer. You can, students, you should refer question number 46 of the practice manual, edition July 2015, for the detailed answer of this question. Now I move to section 139, subsection 8. I move to section 139(8). (139)(8) is filling of a casual vacancy. As per section 139(8), any casual vacancy in the office of an auditor, any casual vacancy, casual means sudden, achanak, casual vacancy in the office of an auditor shall, in the case of a company other than a government company, be filled by the board of directors within 30 days. If it is a company other than a government company, if it is not a government company, casual vacancy will be filled by the board of directors, that too within 30 days. And if such casual vacancy is due to the resignation of an auditor, such appointment shall also be approved. Board will recommend. Please remember, students, if it is due to the resignation of the auditor, board will recommend the name of the auditor. Such appointment shall also be approved by, and board will recommend, but the appointment will be approved by the company at a general meeting, which will be convened within 3 months of the recommendation of the board, and he shall, the new auditor, appointed auditor, he shall hold the office till the conclusion of the next AGM. For example, due to resignation of the existing auditor, the board of directors of X Limited appointed CA Hari as the auditor. Is the appointment of CA Hari as the auditor valid? So you should refer question number 5A of the practice manual, July 15 edition. Answer is no. Appointment of Hari as auditor is not valid. Any casual vacancy in the office of an auditor shall be filled by the board of directors within 30 days. But if such casual vacancy is the result of resignation of the auditor, is due to the result of resignation of an auditor, so such appointment shall also be approved by the company at a general meeting convened within 3 months of the recommendation of the board. So if such casual vacancy is as a result of resignation, then such appointment shall also be approved by the company at a GM general meeting, which is convened within 3 months of the recommendation of the board. And this is about filling of casual vacancy in case of other companies. But if it is a government company, it will be filled by the Controller and Auditor General, CAG of India, within 30 days. It may be noted that in case CAG doesn't fill the casual vacancy within the said period, then board shall fill the vacancy within next 30 days. 139 subsection 9 is reappointment. A retiring auditor may be reappointed. Students, very important section, examination question I should say. A retiring auditor may be reappointed at an AGM. A retiring auditor may be reappointed. Here word is made, discretionary, at an AGM if he is not disqualified. Condition is number 1 is, point number 1, he is not disqualified for reappointment. And disqualification, students, I will teach you in the next lecture on 12th of January 2015, Tuesday. I will be discussing about disqualifications of an auditor, section 141. So he is not disqualified for reappointment. Retiring auditor may be reappointed, but condition number 1 is he is not disqualified for reappointment. Secondly, point number B is he has not given the company a notice in writing of his unwillingness to be reappointed. He has not. Second point is, first point was he is not disqualified. Second is he has not given the company a notice in writing of his unwillingness to be reappointed. He is, if he is unwilling, means if he is disqualified, he will not be reappointed. So a person with disqualification cannot be reappointed. So if he has given the company notice in writing about his unwillingness to be reappointed, so he will not be reappointed. And or third point, a special resolution has not been passed at that meeting appointing some other. If he has, means in other words, I put it this way: if a special resolution has been passed at a meeting appointing some other auditor or providing expressly that he shall not be reappointed, even then he cannot be reappointed. So all these conditions A, B, C, because it is starting with a retiring auditor may be reappointed at a, if he is not disqualified. These all conditions are negative, therefore these are cumulative. So last subsection I am covering is no auditor appointed. Where at an AGM no auditor is appointed or reappointed, existing auditor shall continue to be the auditor of a company. Simple provision. Where at any AGM no auditor is appointed or reappointed, existing auditor shall continue to be the auditor of the company. And section 139 subsection 11, appointment of auditor in case of audit committee, where company is required to constitute an audit committee under section 179, where it is required, if required, means as per the provisions of the company, that all appointments including filling of casual vacancy under this section shall be made after taking into account. We are not saying anything. If it is required to constitute a company as per the provisions of the company that is required to constitute an audit committee, that it will take into account the recommendation of such committee. This is all about section 139. I have covered in detail. Any queries on this, you can send to me as mail, but I am not. Now I am switching over to your online queries. For query students, you may also get in touch with the Board of Studies at the following email IDs: rajeev.sachdeva@ici.in or karuna.bhansali@icai.in. Students, you may also be in touch with us at the undermentioned number for your queries: 0120-3045-925. Students, it is for your information. I will be taking up next lecture on company audit on 12th of January 2015, Tuesday at 3 p.m. by way of online mentoring. Now I am moving to some online queries. Thank you so much, students, for patient listening. Thank you so much.